According to another concept of the ancient wisdom, all bodies, whether spiritual or material, have three centers, called by the Greeks the upper center, the middle center, and the lower center. The tetragrammaton, or four-lettered name of God, is here arranged as a tetractys within the inverted human heart. Beneath, the name Jehovah is shown transformed into Jehoshua by the interpolation of the radiant Hebrew letter Shin. The drawing as a whole represents the throne of God and his hierarchies within the heart of man. In the first book of his Libri Apologetici, Jacob Boehmer thus describes the meaning of the symbol, "For we men have one book in common which points to God. Each has it within himself, which is the priceless name of God."
Okay, so fair use basically means that I can use it for a little bit, but I can't use the whole damn thing, okay? So what we're talking about right now is some old woo-woo type of fucking religious stuff that may or may not be real. I'm not saying that it is, but during the time that we're going to be listening to this person talk, talking about the architect and talking about the matrix and all that good shit. But in the meantime, while we're doing all that, I'm going to be painting this helmet. So that's just for the kids. So if you want to see me do that and listen to this at the same time, you're more than welcome to jump in here and chat your face off. Don't matter to me.
Letters are the flames of his love, which he, out of his heart, in the priceless name of Jesus, has revealed in us. Read these letters in your hearts and spirits, and you have books enough. All the writings of the children of God direct you unto that one book, for therein lie all the treasures of wisdom. This book is Christ in you. To diagram or symbolize adequately abstract mental verities is impossible, for the diagrammatic representation of one aspect of metaphysical relationships may be an actual contradiction of some other aspect. While that which is above is generally considered superior in dignity and power, in reality, that which is in the center is superior and anterior to both that which is said to be above and that which is said to be below. Therefore, it must be said that the first, which is considered as being above, is actually in the center. What?
Okay, stop. This is fair use, you guys. Now listen to this. This has always confused me as some kind of theory is that as above, so below. What does that mean? Does that mean that there's a mirror image of us in another dimension down below of us? Or is there another world down below us? Because, guys, let's face it, man. The United States is a country that was buried. It was occupied before the American Indians. All of it has been buried. All of this stuff has been silenced. Most of the Indians were killed. All the land was taken. So any wars or any earthquakes or any fires or anything like that that might have happened during that time frame was set by people who didn't want you to know that there were people there before us. I don't know why people are so prideful. Why don't you just admit, wow, we found another civilization that was here before us? Well, because they didn't want to make the Bible look wrong. Because during the Crusades, they wanted everybody to make sure, that like it or not, Jesus is Lord. And they would force people in, they would take over their lands and stuff. But what people used to say, oh, the Spaniards used to build these forts. Let me tell you, those forts were built thousands of years before the Spaniards even arrived to the United States. The one that's in Puerto Rico specifically stands out. If you've ever been to Puerto Rico, there's a star fort that's on the ocean. Get a chance, look on Google Maps and Google Earth and look down on it. And you'll see that is an ancient star fort. And a lot of these star forts were built around the 8th century. The 8th century, not 1492. So a lot of this stuff that we have been told is because they did not want us to know about the possibility of other civilizations that knew things that we don't, that we still don't. So all the fakery and all the bullshit, they knew that they could fake everything. Every single thing that you and I believe to be as true, it has turned out to be a money grab for somebody at some point. You know, look at the Titanic. The day of the Titanic, they shipped out with everybody that was opposed to the central bank. And those people died in the Titanic. And the people that were, that wanted the central bank got off at the very last second. The Rockefellers got off of the Titanic before it left. Now they're saying that there's a possibility that this thing was deliberately sabotaged, and it's so far down in the ocean that the very idea of doing any kind of salvage is just ridiculous. But we will soon find out, because a lot of things like LiDAR that exist and the ability for us to use, you know, unmanned drones to go down as deep as that thing is, not a problem. So that's what I'm saying, is that if there's a possibility of there being a second layer under us right now that has some form of sunlight, that has some form of power, that has some sort of thing that doesn't require waste. So riddle me this, you guys. Okay, you guys know that I live in a castle. And I'm not saying that to brag to you. I bought a ruin and I've been restoring it, and I'm very happy about it. But that's another whole other thing. But where did they go to the bathroom? Like, why would they live in these palaces and there not be any bathrooms in these places? Like, what did they do with all their shit? The other thing is that there are no stains anywhere on the ceilings or on the walls of this castle from using fire for lights. So I believe they may have had access to radium, and they had some kind of a system where they used radium for lights in my house. Because you realize this isn't just a house. It is like, it isn't just a house. It isn't just a McMansion. It isn't just a mansion. It is a hacienda that's so big that at one time there were like 20-something families living in my house. But it was in 1810 that the revolutionaries were in possession of this house. But they only founded it in 1810. Now tell me something, you guys. Why does a village that has only 500 people in it, if that, even present day it doesn't even have that many, how is it possible for a whole town to work, let's say they work 24 hours a day, to build this palace in the middle of nowhere? And mind you guys, it has a Neolithic bridge that was knocked down. The posts are still there. You could go on Google Earth, and wherever you see rivers and shit, that's where the original like entrances to this little town were. So everything is like changed. There's like the entrance of the town is not the entrance that it used to be. Like the front of the town is not the fucking front of the town. Most of the houses that are buried all around my house, the castle, are all parts of the original Star Fort. That's amazing. And I'm going to give you the name so that if you guys want to go on Google Earth, it's a ruin, okay? There's no roof. I mean, you can look down in there and shit, and you can see all the fucking cleaning out I did, because it was like a jungle, and it was buried in about 2.5 meters of dirt that had been abandoned for over 100 years. Now, why? You have to ask yourself, well, why would you buy something like that? Well, I am absolutely obsessed with where I am in Mexico, because every single time they try and build something like a fucking parking lot, they're digging up ancient ruins that are older than the Aztecs. The Aztecs, we always thought, were the oldest civilization in Mexico. Completely wrong, guys, because there was the Olmecs. Now a guy that's in this next town over from me in Querétaro, he bought a hill. He thought he was just buying this 400-foot hill, and he built a house on top. Well, what do you know? Guess what was underneath of it? A damn pyramid. Doesn't that blow your mind? A pyramid. All right, so all the stuff that you think might be modern day or stuff, it might be bricked over, it might have been plastered over or whatever. So the cool thing is that you can see these old buildings poking out of the sides of the mountains and stuff. And sometimes you can go up there. So if you have a drone or something, that would be probably the best way to go up there. So anyway, the town is in Puebla. So if you go to Puebla, you're going to go to Puebla. Puebla is like the biggest part. It's one of the biggest towns in Mexico. And it's one of the oldest too. That's where all the natives are. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I just finished doing. And this is all wet. Well, that's just two of these kids' helmets that we're going to use. Now I'm going to do a third. Okay. Now, just so you guys know that these were made by the neighbor. Okay. These are supposed to be aluminum or I guess aluminum or whatever. And all I'm doing is using this black fire retardant paint that is not the kind that causes cancer. And I'm just dabbing this stuff on, just a thin layer, because before I put the resin on and all that stuff, if you pay attention. See there? It doesn't even have, you just have to cover it. Because listen, all you're doing is making layer upon layer upon layer upon layer until this thing is, I'm going to say it's like 3/8 of an inch thick. So what you're looking at right now is just a skeleton of this thing. And it doesn't weigh anything, which is great because these are just for kids to march in. There's really no reason to use this. I mean, you're obviously not going to be putting fires out. These are 6-year-old, 8-year-old kids. You're not going to be, doing a vehicular rescues or anything. And the reason why we do this is because none of these kids' parents have any kind of money. So the closest thing we could get is that someone had a bunch of recycled cardboard and stuff. And all the kids just got a little design. They took the helmet that I had and then a design that somebody had on the internet for like kids' parties for like the structure of this helmet. And I was like, damn, that's pretty authentic looking. So I was like, well, the only way that I'm going to be able to do this to scale is just let the kids do theirs for fun. Like a party hat or something, that's something that's silly looking. But let them do something with their hands, because as it turns out that when you are a kid and you have projects and you just start them but you never finish them, what happens is there's a breakdown in between the neurons in the brain. So there's all these things happening in the brain, chemicals that are rushing around and so on and so forth. And once a kid is able to connect A to Z, as in finish a project from A to Z without stopping, without making excuses and doing the stuff that they're supposed to do, doesn't matter if it's fun or not, doesn't matter how long it takes. If he's able to do a job or a project that goes from A to Z the first time, he will connect those two neurons. And what will happen is during his lifetime, those habits will repeat themselves over and over and over again. So if you ever meet somebody that has like an old car and they just, they got it primered and they've said, oh, I'm going to go to fix it when I got the money, or when I get my tax returns, I'm going to put, wheels on it or something. And they never do. It's because from the formation of their neurons, when they were a young child, they were given simple tasks to do, and for whatever reason, no discipline, or they don't know, or they just might not be intelligent. Okay, there's a lot of that. Okay, so look how this is turning out so far. So you can see there's the front of it. Okay, and these are just going to be matte black. That's all this is. It's just that fire retardant paint. And I'm just touching it on because, like I said, you got to do several layers of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this on now. And I'm going to let this dry overnight. And this is just the first layer. But like I said, you don't need to go crazy with this stuff. You just got to put it on. Just put it on. Think of it as a sealer. It just got to be coverage. And definitely do the sides, because you realize that this is all carton here. And if there's holes or air or anything that goes in, it's all going to be visible. So don't fuck it up. All right. So now I'm going to jump to the other side that I just fucked up, but you'll never see that. So, all right, let's see. All right, so one of the questions was experience with ayahuasca and DMT. And is it beneficial for recovery? Okay, I'm going to tell you right off the bat that DMT is a big fat no. No, DMT is something that'll probably fucking scare you if it's, legitimately strong or whatever. And if you're a drug addict or an alcoholic and you just go crazy with anything and everything you do to the max, balls to the wall, just don't give a fuck, then you'll probably do DMT and you'll have some kind of a wild experience from it. If you do it all the time, it might cause some psychosis. I mean, I've heard of it. I've done it twice. And since then, I have never had the desire to touch it again, because I was told it was going to help me with panic attacks, and it was going to help me with, just to peel back the layers psychologically of some of the, causes and conditions of, why I have these abandonment issues, or why would I have, because all it did for me was show me everything fucked up that I was doing. That's what DMT did for me. It might have been like 6 minutes, might have been 10 minutes, but it told me that I was a sack of shit. I was a liar. I constantly could not go a minute without, because it's some kind of form of like Tourette syndrome or whatever. Or some people just like living in a fucking fantasy land because they're unhappy about the current situation. Because most kids, most children, when they talk to their invisible friend or whatever, I have a theory that they may be talking to their natural fathers. I think that if they've been abandoned or something like that, their invisible friend or their invisible whatever might be a spirit of some sort that's communicating to you from the future. Maybe it's yourself. You're playing with, when you're a little kid and you have an invisible friend, you have those. Not me. I knew that I was somebody else before I knew I was me. And that explains why so many fucking nightmares. That's why anything that sets me off gives me this unbelievable fucking superpower to like see the future and know to get the fuck away from people. So, because that's what it comes down to, is that I personally would rather be by myself than be around motherfuckers that disrespect me. I ain't fucking dealing with nobody that disrespects me. You're gonna talk over me? That's a form of fucking disrespect. I have to draw this fucking line in the sand with people to somehow have this illusion that I'm somehow paranoid schizophrenic. Because someone said that about my father when I was a kid, and they carried that fucking bullshit story on to somehow explain out why I'm so fucking weird. That's how you like them apples. So the best thing for me to do is just stay the fuck away from people who aren't good for me and that don't want to hear fucking reason and would rather not know anything good about me because they seem to want to fucking sabotage anything good that I have going on. So that's why I love being like a motherfucking gypsy and every couple of fucking years moving away and doing my shit somewhere else. See, you know why? Because no one knows what the fuck anything about me. They don't know me. They know the 10-year ago version of me. You know what I'm saying? And even then, they didn't even fucking know me. So, there's this lovely thing that I like to call, I was learning from this guy named Kevin Samuels. And he says that people who love to talk over you and ridicule you because they assume automatically that's how your language is now. You know what I'm saying? Like you're an infantile fucking idiot that's illiterate and doesn't grow up. And so it's called sign language. And it goes like this. And it's usually when someone is rebuttaling constantly in your arguments and so on, when they don't have a fucking foot to stand on. And that's called sign language. And it goes like this. It's shame, insults, guilt, and the fucking need to be right. And it's very much a trait that women like to use because they can't physically fight, so they need to be as awful as possible in any kind of conflict or conversation. So that's why I would prefer to be left the fuck alone. Because I can go another 10 years without talking to fucking anybody. I don't give a shit. It seems so important now. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? If you ignore a person long enough, eventually they get the fucking message that you don't want to talk to them. So I assume that all these new associates that I have are going to fulfill the massive loss of not even my fucking father for the past 20-something years because his fucking wife lied. And then to turn around and tell me I gotta fucking apologize for some shit that I didn't even fucking say. Now I'm understanding that I didn't just say that she was a gold digger. Now the bitch says that I threatened to kill her. That's what he told me. And I was like, no, first of all, I don't have any reason to lie to you at my age. What reason in the fucking world would I have to lie to anybody about anything? I got no reason to bullshit anybody. So all this time, I've been alienated from a dude I needed. And here's the fucked up part. He let it fucking happen. He let it be. He did not defend me. He did not ask questions. He assumed she was always fucking right. This opened a Pandora's box of why this motherfucker never supported me. He hoped I failed at shit. And only would wait for me at the fucking finish line if I had something good going on like fucking BMX. But I understand because he was under the assumption I have some fucking mental problems. And I've had several fucking fuck-ups with him that would give him perfect reason never to talk to me again. I understand that, but I'm a grown-ass adult. But I understand that, hey, you know what? Don't go out with that bitch because she does cocaine and she's going to pull you down. I've never done fucking cocaine in my life. But allows me to, first of all, go with this bitch, then allows me to stay in fucking jail. I don't fucking belong in jail. I belong working at fucking NASA. Now my whole credit's ruined. Now my whole fucking career possibilities are fucking ruined. Now anytime I apply for a fucking job or a fucking apartment or anything, I have a felony fucking arrest. Even if you expunge it, it shows a felony fucking arrest, which means you're a piece of shit. This motherfucker did nothing to help me. And that's why I know this motherfucker set me up. And that's why I know why talk to somebody who fucking disrespects me, doesn't take you seriously. Why talk to fucking anybody who disrespects you? And I don't mean to go off on a tangent like that, but why bother? I'm not going to talk to a disrespectful bitch. I'm sure as fuck not going to take it from somebody who fucking thinks they know me. Fuck you. And this is the fucked up part. The people that you help the most fuck you the worst. And then make excuses and suddenly have fucking amnesia of all the shit and fuck shit they did to you. You know, I had my fucking pension suspended for 3 fucking years because his goddamn gay fucking roommate buddy wanted to go and fucking run his mouth because he was jealous of my life, my wife, my lifestyle. And that's what the fuck he did. He sabotaged my fucking life indirectly. And you think I won't have a reason to be pissed about it? And then not to fucking say sorry about it, but instead turn around as if it's my fault and I should have chosen better. Cunts. And then try and humiliate me in front of my fucking dad as if I'm saying something horrible. I never said a fucking word. I'm sitting there listening to a bunch of drunk fucking retards that are fucking saying insulting shit to me. Why would I listen to that? I'm an adult. Fuck that. And now you get to hear every bit of these miniature conversations I've had with myself for the past 2 fucking years about how much fucking resentment I have about that woman and that dad alienated me when I fucking needed him. Look at Jonathan. When he got in the military, what's he doing? He's going to school to fix fucking trailers. Good for him. What the fuck is Duncan doing? He's doing fucking heroin. Why aren't you helping him go get a fucking job? Why aren't you helping him get a fucking truck? Why aren't you bringing him into your fucking house? He's your real son, asshole. But no, me, the fucking adopted kid, who's got his fucking life together, invites a fucking down here to go detox, get his fucking on his feet. I give him an apartment, and he invites coke heads over and weed heads over, and he plays music till 4 a.m. Gets me fucking thrown out of my apartment for 7 fucking years. I give him a second apartment. He gets evicted from that within a fucking week. And he wonders why I'm upset. Because he doesn't realize how much fucking money and time and effort I put into this shit to put myself in a position to never have to go back to the United States and never have to put up with that man again who didn't care about me at all. And you think this is about money? Motherfucker, you think I give a shit about money? It's all you fuckers ever think about is money. I could give a fucking rat's ass about money. I missed my father my whole fucking life. And you know what that bitch did? Those kids' parents, the kid's dad, she alienated him their whole life. She said she was abused. He fell for that fucking shit. She fell for she wanted a beta provider to take care of her fucking kids because she made a bad mistake with a guy and opened her legs for a guy who's an ass beater and a fucking felon. And then goes and looks for a good guy like dad to pay her fucking shit. Meanwhile, he's bankrupted and she's siphoning off the fucking money and giving it to her kids. Meanwhile, his fucking kids are starving. And I'm treated as a criminal, which I don't appreciate. I'm treated as a fucking mental health patient that the minute I get around those motherfuckers, they're going to be calling and getting me fucking locked up for being crazy. Fuck that. But guess what I get to do? Be anywhere the fuck I want, anytime I want, around whoever I want. And no one gonna criticize me ever again. Because I'm not the person they thought I was. And I'm not the person that they saw. Because that was a fake fucking version of the dude that I am. That was a child that grew up without a fucking father. And most kids who grow up without a father end up like we did. In fucking jails, in institutions, alcoholics, homeless and shit. And you wonder why I'm fucking mad, because I could have fucking handled this shit. I wouldn't have been homeless a day. I've had enough fucking problems. I have a 200-page stack of medical fucking records of why the military doesn't need guys like me anymore. And during this time, they were nice enough to offer my daughter a beautiful college tuition as a result of my disability in the military. Now, what this cunt didn't realize is that when you make a claim against a fucking veteran for doing shit they're not supposed to be doing, and they shut off your shit, they also stop payments to your fucking daughter's college fund so she can stop going to school. And then, of course, the first person she blames is me, because she's under the assumption I'm somehow taking money from her that I'm supposed to go to her fucking college. This is all shit that happened. Then after the fact, after it's all investigated and realized it's all fucking bullshit, then I recover back my money. The fucking woman that I'm staying with steals my fucking Mercedes, steals the title to the land I had been paying on for the past 10 months to live out in the fucking woods where I wanted to live, and she ran off with another woman. So all this bullshit happened. During that time, I was able to see my part and everything. I was the fucked up boyfriend. I was a lying piece of shit for my entire life. And for some reason, While I was out there in the woods for 8 months without electricity, without water, without internet, not fucking taking steroids, not going to the gym, doing every single thing organically because all I had to live on was fucking fruit because I had no fucking money. Because you and your cunt fucking friends had my fucking pension suspended. And you know you fucking did that shit. But the jokes were fucking on you. Because now I know what you're fucking about. You're a saboteur. All you do is sabotage people. You see somebody else doing fucking good, your crab barrel fucking ass will pull them fucking back in, say, no, you're going to be miserable with me. And as much as you want to deny this shit, I see it for what the fuck it is. Jealousy, envy, because somehow I don't fucking deserve to have a good life. You're going to come in and fucking sabotage it, sabotage my fucking marriage, talk about me around people that don't give a fuck about you and don't give a fuck about me, but don't want to see me succeed either. But would rather see me go without. So I survived through that bullshit, and you don't want to take responsibility for it? Motherfucker, it was your fault. I've had myself elsewhere. I've had to send letters to the fucking FBI, the Department of fucking Justice, to every fucking agency and ask them the straight questions. Why is this fucking shit happening to me? Why is this stuff? No open investigations. As far back as 12 fucking years, no open warrants, no international nothing, no investigations, all of that shit. Because that's what people want to see with me. They want to see, were you fucking never arrested? Yes, I was. I bounced a check, XYZ. Oh, that's not good, because down here on your arrest record it says fraud. Financial fraud. You see what happens to people when they're accused? True or falsely? What happens to people? They got to go somewhere else because you try and get a job anywhere, they're going to open up your shit and they'll be like, oh, look at that. You got an arrest for bouncing a check back in 1992. So that eliminates you from the job pool. Do you know I was fucking talented enough to talk my way into a pipe fitting job after I got out of the military so that I could pay off my child support and get on my feet. And I had a little truck my mom had bought me and co-signed for me. And one day she decided to go and take my truck right after I got a new fucking job. I go out the next day to go to goddamn work with my tools and my, I had $20-something an hour. I was like, finally, I'm gonna fucking survive. And she had stolen my fucking truck and given it to somebody else. And they wonder why I get fucking mad. If I had a fucking father around, he would not have put up with that shit. Now, if I had been fucking up financially and I had a good father, someone who cared about me, they probably would have fucking stopped me from doing shit in the first place and done shit right. But when you got someone that neglects you and alienates you, which, by the way, is a form of abuse, okay? And if it's somebody else that's forcing them to do it, guess what that's called? That's called elder abuse, okay? Either way, it's both suable. Either way, it's both fucking damaging to fucking kids. But somehow, it's okay for her fucking kids, but not for his. So I have to live the fucking rough life out here. When I need something, I have nothing and nobody to fall back on. And if I did want to go to the States, who the fuck would I go back to? I come back and this woman came at me, okay? I don't give a fuck how drunk anybody is. You don't scream at a fucking veteran coming back from a fucking war. And you don't come at somebody and then turn around and lie about what I actually fucking said. I don't give a fuck how drunk I was. I was at least not stupid enough to fucking threaten my dad's wife. Stupid ass. You believe that shit? With death? Hello?